So, hi everyone, welcome to Houston to LA. I am Patricia Tone. Sorry for the delay. I had technical difficulties, as you all saw if you were tuned in at 12 o'clock. But I am here with my wonderful, beautiful, lovely guest, Dawn of the Aquarius. Hi, Dawn.
Hello, my love. How are you?
Thank you so much for agreeing to speak with me today, converse with me today, and talk a little bit about life
Thank you for
and
having me.
how. Let me tell y'all, I found her. Look, I found you. I found her on TikTok, right? And the moment I saw her, I was like, wait a minute, who is this chick right here with all of my kind of energy that I like, right? And so I started following you, and I just have been just amazed at you and your energy and the way you flow, the way you move in life. And I told you when I saw that you had changed your career and decided to do something different to put yourself in alignment to where you want to see or where you want to go, where you want to be. I was just so impressed,
Thank you.
just beyond words, And I said, I need to talk to her now that I'm doing my lives. And here we are.
Yes, and I thank you for
Welcome.
inviting me. Thank you for considering and thinking about me. Yeah, we've been following each other for a while, and I've loved your videos and just your opinions, your feedback to all things that are occurring in life, and only you can do it the way that you do it. And I'm just in appreciation, and I want to say thank you for seeing me. It's not a lot of people who get me, and being that our birthdays are a day apart, I think that's we
Two
see each
days, I
other.
think. Oh no, a day. Yeah, a day. Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you. I see you. I see more than people realize.
Mhm.
Hi, Sabrin. Thank you. We're talking getting yourself into alignment. But I see you, and like I said, I love what I see.
Thank you.
I don't care about everybody. I know what I see.
Likewise.
And one thing I know how to do is see, because I see people through a lens.
Mhm.
And that's probably why I love film and television. I have always seen things through a lens and seen the beauty in people. I try to see the beauty in the darkness, the beauty in the ugliness, the beauty
Yes.
in everything,
Yes.
you know, because I know one time I was arguing with somebody and I'm standing looking at them. I'm like, wait a minute. You got pretty. I start complimenting them while I'm mad, and I'm like, what? I'm supposed to be mad at you, not giving compliments.
Exactly. We come up with some of the most random things in the most awkward moments. But that's what makes us us, that's what makes us so unique. And the
Yeah,
fact that we embrace our uniqueness, our awkwardness, um,
yeah,
it's a thing where we are not normal and we're good with that. And
yeah. I say that all the time.
we're showing people it's okay. What technically is normal?
That
Nobody has a true definition of that.
making it up as we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, that's life, because life is filled with unpredictable uncertainty, constant change.
mhm.
And it's like if you don't know how to go with the flow, you're gonna get lost. You're gonna get swept up. You're gonna be sitting in the corner feeling like you're going crazy, doing a blah, 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 in the
Yeah,
corner. You don't
yeah,
want to. and
yeah,
unless you learn how to grab life by the neck and say, okay, this is what we're about to do. Okay.
yeah.
This is where we're
And
going.
that's what we tend to do, right? We might be going through stuff, and I know for me, I could get depressed. I could lay in this bed. I could eat some sugary, depression food, and after a second or two, or a day or two, I'm like, okay, you need to get your butt up,
It's time to
and
get up. We did
it's
that.
time to
It's
fight
over.
back. It's time to fight back, baby.
Yeah.
I have to come out swinging, you know,
Yeah.
and I just love how you you're always see one thing another thing I love. You're always doing them little singing and dancing videos. And back in the day, I thought I was gonna be Debbie Allen the second
Uh-huh.
and Janet Jackson.
Well, a lot of people don't know that my first career was as a recording artist and songwriter. So from the time I was 11 up until my early 20 mid 20s, I was in the music industry. That was life. I lived and breathed music and artist development and writing, and it was a form of expression for me. It was a way for me to escape from the real world. And so I delved into my music, and it was just I could write everything that I was feeling on paper and then bring it out through a song. That was where I discovered
Wow.
myself as an artistic being. And
Oh,
so when I'm doing the TikToks and I'm doing that's something that I've been doing since I was a kid, and it's just those are my favorite songs, or a song that I'm feeling, or something that's exciting, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, you do it so well." Well, yeah, I had a lot of practice,
I was gonna
but
say you got a little bit of practice up in there.
I had a little
So
practice. But I enjoy it because, especially like you said, during the pandemic, when I got on TikTok, it was a way to have fun. And
oh,
when I started seeing other people doing it, I was like, wait a minute, okay, let me join in on the fun, because
right, right.
everybody had an ability to just be their creative selves. And that's what I did, along with, doing little skits and things like that. I never was an actress, but I knew I could do it. And so it was like comedy.
Wow. I'm sorry. You are you can do it. Okay, keep going.
I never wanted to really do it, but
Uh,
if it was for fun, like I've been extras in movies, like from Los Angeles. Everybody at some point is in a movie or a commercial or something, just being in LA. But the entertainment industry was my world for many, many, many years. And then once I got from in front of the camera, I went behind the camera as a hairstylist and makeup artist. So I worked not only in a salon, not only, weddings and special events, but television, magazines, commercials, movies, whatever it was behind the scenes, I was there. Red carpet events, award season was always, busy. But that was my second career, and I enjoyed it. I was familiar in the industry, and my talent as a hairstylist and makeup artist, that too began at childhood. And I've always picked careers that spoke to me on a spiritual level, things that I enjoyed. And to me, that is spiritual when you enjoy it and it becomes natural, or it flows naturally through you. That to me is what a career should be based on, not the fact that you make however amount of money, but something that's in alignment with you and who you are and how you express yourself and what you want to give to the world. And
now, I'm
mhm.
gonna push pause on you right there because I want to say something. So the fact that I too come from hair and makeup, the beauty industry, because my mom went to beauty school, right? And I was out here doing that stuff at a young age, 10, 11 years old. I was learning how to do this. And so I now know why you're always camera ready.
Like that.
Listen, you, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do too many things. You are just beautiful when you are on that doggone screen
Thank
and
you.
people are watching you and everything's coordinated and again that's why I knew I liked you because we have such similarities, but I didn't realize how deep it went, when I saw that you did hair and makeup and all that stuff and you was in entertainment and I was like, I can't believe everybody that looks like they could have been my
Oh
twins.
my God.
But okay, so leading into the next career, what was your thought process on, okay, this is not feeding me the way it had been in the past? How did you grasp your new appetite? What steps, what clicked, what turned the key for you to say, okay, I need to do something else?
I think it's when you stop enjoying it, when it
Yeah.
starts to feel like work in a negative way,
Mhm.
when it starts to stress you out and or become overwhelming and it's you just don't enjoy it. Life is meant to be enjoyable, not without adversity, not without those things. But I think when you get to a point where you don't get the same high off of it, and it's okay to step away, but when you step away for a while, reboot, and then come back to it, and it's still not feeding or fueling you spiritually, then that's going to come out in your work. That's going to come out and show, okay, I'm not my best and I'm not giving my best to this anymore. Even though I'm trying, sometimes you can try a little too hard and
Yeah.
it does the opposite of what you want it to do. It contradicts what it is you're trying to do. So that's when you really have to take an honest inventory and say, am I complete here? Have I done all that I'm supposed to do? Have I reached the levels to which I'm supposed to reach? Because it's an experience. It's we're here to experience life itself. So if you experience this chapter, this phase of an identity, which is part of, your career and your job is a part of your identity. But if you're looking to, I'm a person that always wants to grow, always
Yeah.
wants to do better, become more,
Mhm.
because that's part of my purpose. That's part of all our purpose.
Yeah.
But for
I was
me,
gonna say.
it for everybody.
Mhm.
But for
Mhm.
me, it's I enjoy it. I enjoy growing. I enjoy. It's not to, say, "Oh, I'm not good enough." No, I'm great where I am, but I know I'm destined for more. I know I'm deserving of more. I know there's more to go get, and I expect to receive more, to learn more, to be more educated, to be more experienced. And so when you reach that point where that career or that job is not fueling you or satisfying you spiritually, not just financially, the money could be great, but it's really, what is this doing for me? How do I feel about the direction my life is actually going in? And if you're not pleased, satisfied, exhilarated, excited to get up and go to whatever it is that you work at, then that says this is the area of life I'm not okay with. What changes should I make? Maybe it you might still be in the same industry, but shifts, just like I still was in entertainment, but I
Hmm.
shifted from in front of to behind the scenes.
Right, right.
And there is no perfect anything. So I wasn't
Yeah.
looking for anything to be, oh my gosh, this is it, this is me. No, this is what I enjoy right now. This is what I'm good at as well. So let me go ahead and try this, even though this is important too. This is important. I am no longer the talent. I am preparing talent. I am getting them ready for, and I know what it takes. I know what it's supposed to
Yes,
look like. I know what it's
yes,
supposed to. I know how to listen to what it is that they want, or what the director wants, or the producer wants, or whoever it is that's running up. This is what I want. Cool. I'm a visionary. I'm an artist. Let's go ahead and make this happen. And I know the importance of it as well, of making sure that project is executed properly, you know. Um, but it's really, once you stop feeling that excitement and that enthusiasm for it, and you've given it, like, because it's a relationship.
yeah,
It's a relationship, and once you feel like you're not really into that relationship anymore, you're just okay, let me be honest. And then you have to ask yourself the question, that magical question. What do I want?
yeah,
What do I want next? What's exciting me next? What I discovered after or during hair and makeup, when I was starting to feel a little turbulent, a little bit, just a little bit. I was starting to feel exhausted. I was starting
yeah.
to ache physically. I was starting to feel like
Just
I was getting
standing all day. Yeah,
my
yeah,
hands tightening
yeah,
up. Um, and I was just starting to feel diseased about it. And I was asked a question by a woman at a dinner party with that was mentoring us, and she asked each of us, what did we want? What did we see for ourselves? What did we want to become? And it fell out of my mouth. I don't know where it came from. It just divinely just spewed out onto the table. And I said, I want to be a life coach. And I said, where did that come from? I'm looking around like, who told me to say that? And from that point, I didn't even know what a life coach did. I didn't even know how much they made. I didn't know any of that. And when I researched it after I'd spoken it, I realized I had already been life coaching when I'm sitting with clients, when I'm holding their hand going through life experience, when I'm with them before their wedding, when I'm with them, before their baby shower, or a young girl going to prom, or a mother that's going to, you know, uh, I've been with everybody. I'm talking patients I've had to shave their head as they're getting, they're going through chemo. I've held the hands of people who have lost their children, or a spouse, or a loved one, miscarriages, the highs and the lows. I've been with people through all those things, and it's the conversations that we've had.
yeah. I was gonna say, being a hairstylist alone, we are life coaches, counselors, therapists.
We've
So we've been doing it all our lives,
been doing it.
and we just been doing it for free.
Well, not really, because
No, you know what I mean? We're not sure.
it's funny because my sister is a clinical psychologist and she has patients. And we had a conversation slash disagreement one day. And I said, we kind of do the same thing, helping people become better, helping people see life for what it is according to their
Yeah,
circumstance. I said, the only difference is they walk away from me looking better. It's just like they just,
really
they,
like that.
they come out transformed. And for me, during that chapter of life, I was really diving into my personal development, my self empowerment, and my spiritual growth. And
Yeah,
it was for me a moment, as I look back now, I was helping people feel better about themselves on the outside. And I was helping them dive into spaces and places on the inside at the same time. And when they left my presence, they were transformed into
Yeah.
something else. And so that is why I take my coaching so seriously. That is
Yeah.
why, I understand my assignment is to assist other people on their journey of becoming greater, of finding their true north, finding their purpose, understanding their purpose, and helping them learn how to walk in that confidently and unapologetically. So as I did that and built that reputation for myself up, it was a matter of now, okay, this is something I'm going to do for the rest of my life. This is a purpose for you and you love it. It it makes me feel every day like there's something amazing and large that I'm contributing to the world itself, as chaotic as it is. But I had to ask myself, how long do you think this is going to last for you as far as this beautiful feeling? Because we know we've already been in the beauty industry, we've already done the entertainment, we've already done all these things. And
Yep.
for me, it's I said it's bigger than me.
Right.
It's bigger than me. This is a divine purpose. It's bigger than those were just skill sets.
Right.
Those were skill
Right.
sets. This and talents. This is a purpose. This is a who you and what you are. This is
Now,
bigger than me.
in school, um, I always had people coming up to me for advice, right? And for the most part, I didn't think any of them really liked me. So when somebody came to ask me a question, I was just shocked. But I would always, in the same sense, give the advice, make people think about uh, things in a different light. Now, my process is to ask questions. I believe in asking them a question so they could think in their own brain without me telling them my opinion. I want them to come up with their own resolution by the questions that I ask.
Hmm.
But when the thing that made me go back to school was I wanted to get into the motivational speaking world. And I said to myself, just like you, I was so worn out with these 9 to 5s, with beautifying everyone else and putting all of that energy into other people and feeling like I didn't have anyone pouring energy back into me. And
Yep.
so my bucket was being emptied and not replenished.
Hmm.
And so I said, okay, Lord, I need to figure out what is the next step for my life. So I go back to college and I said, well, people have always asked me for advice. I've always been a speaker. I've always been in front of the camera, even though in school I switched and went behind the camera. And so after I got the bachelor's, um, I was talking to one of my friends and we were talking about life stuff. And I realized that with the master's, that was more accreditation to me being able to be a speaker because I will have mastered, as they say, communications and production and things like that. And so that way I had a legitimate experience and background for me. That's how I felt in my mind. And so if I tell you each time I graduated, I felt like I was being punked. And I was like, somebody was pulling a whammy on me because the first time when I got my bachelor's, we went right into a recession. Then when I got my master's, that was in 17, but I still had trouble finding the position or job that I thought I wanted. And then as I got ready to build and branch over into motivational speaking, COVID hit. And I'm like, uh, Lord,
What do you want me to do?
I'm out of options. I'm out of options.
Yeah.
It's like this ain't right at all on no level.
Mm-mm.
But what I realized too in all of that, he told me to get my butt on social media and just do my talking through social media. And I kept putting it off. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want to do it because I didn't really want still didn't want to be in front of the camera.
Gotcha.
And so because I didn't want to do it, nothing else was working out. Every other avenue that I took did not work out
Mm-hmm.
except ride sharing. And then that went down the hill.
I, d-
But, baby, I used to love my damn Uber rides. I don't care what people say.
I drove Lyft,
I did too for a minute.
and it was so amazing,
Yes,
but stressful too.
yes.
But it was
In
the
the
time.
beginning, it wasn't stressful for me.
No, it wasn't. It
Only when
wasn't.
they started making changes.
Yeah, when they started making changes, I stopped. The pandemic made me stop. The day they shut down Las Vegas was the last day I drove,
Yeah, yeah,
and I
yeah,
didn't go back. But that's crazy. That's
yeah.
another thing that we did.
I'm trying to tell you. I told you, girl. I thought I was reading my own information at your stuff. I'm like, this don't make no sense for somebody to have this much in common. But again, here we are at the point of we both having to realign what we
Yes.
feel we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And so then I saw you in uniform. So tell us how you got to the uniform.
The uniform actually it came right on time. It was
I know I saw it. Yeah, that part I saw. Yeah.
it was I had tinkered with the idea of becoming a flight attendant when I was in my 20s, but never really delve into it. Now, coincidentally, when I was driving Lyft, I would sometimes pick up flight attendants, and they would tell me, "Oh,
Pilot.
go ahead and put," and pilots too. They would tell me how to apply, and I put in the application, and I get, "Oh, we're not hiring. Oh, we're not hiring. We're not hiring." And so I was like, okay. But in the meantime, I'm still focused on my coaching business. When the pandemic hit, I was building my brand, I was building my t shirt line. Everything was being developed at that time, like in a strong way. Because I had already gotten certified, I had already taken multiple classes, I had already gone through the process of accreditation. So
Yeah.
now it was a matter of building an actual business and brand. And I said, okay, well, in the meantime, I don't want to go back to doing hair full time. I have little clients here and there, but not as far as a lifestyle or a income. And I ended up meeting someone who is a dear friend of mine now, and he flew Southwest, flies Southwest. And I said, "Oh, you're a flight attendant too?" He was like, "Yeah." I said, "I tinkered with that idea years ago." He was like, "You'd be an amazing flight attendant." I was like, "I know." I was like, "I know I would." Like, you don't have to
Don't
tell me
tell me
that.
what I know.
Because the thing that I would keep saying every time I would put in an application was, who doesn't want me on their flight? Like, I am a pleasure. What seems to be the problem? Like, why don't they want me for their airline? But then I had to realize it wasn't meant for me to be there then,
At
right?
that time, yeah.
So my friend told me, he said, well, we're not hiring yet, but rumor has it we will be soon, and I will let you know as soon as it takes place. So he's keeping his ear to the ground, finding out, all the details. And he told me, get in position. That's what I always tell people, get in position. I said, I don't have a resume. Like, I don't have a resume. Like, he said, you do. I said, I don't physically have one. I have not had to have a resume in years, like almost 2 decades. I said, I wouldn't know what to, put to make it more appeasing or more attractive to like an airline. Like, all I did was put me. That's it. I put me on paper. And I said, what will be will be. It's done. If it's meant for
But
me to
that's
have
what a
this,
resume is.
that's really what it is. And it's like, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I do, period, point blank. There's no sugarcoat, and I didn't have to spruce anything up. I didn't have to change anything. This is just who I am. When I tell you, I waited 6 months before I heard anything back. Now, some people, a year went by and they didn't hear anything. But the fact that from the time I put in the application up until the day I took my first flight, everything was absolutely seamless
Wow.
because it was meant for me to be there. Now,
Right,
how I
right.
got there was me saying, when I close this computer, when I shut down this Zoom call, when I'm off of this phone call with this client, when I'm done teaching this class, yes, I could go pour myself a glass of wine and relax. Yes, I could go run some errands. Yes, I could do that. But what do I really want to do? I said, I would love to be able to close the computer, get off the phone call, and lay on the beach somewhere on some island and just be in a different city doing these
Yeah.
things, because I designed my business to be able to work from anywhere in the world. That's how I set it up.
Remote. Yep.
So this was the next step. Now go be everywhere in the world and still do this purpose driven business, this purpose driven career path. This is part of the process. This is part of the vision and the goal and the objective that I have for my life going forward.
Right.
I want to travel the rest of my life. This is a way to do it and have an income. And I also understood that you're supposed to be around people. You're supposed to spread your light. You're supposed to interact with people. I didn't know it was going to be that many on a daily basis, but that's understanding the assignment.
Right.
That's understanding. No, and my mother said, baby, you're not supposed to be in the house anymore. You know, because that's all it was. I'd be on the computer, I'd be on Zoom, I would be, on a screen with people, even on TikTok. It's a screen. But now you got to
Yep.
go out. They got to really feel your energy. It's powerful coming through a screen, but oh my goodness, the magnitude of it in person, in real time, in real life.
Yep.
That's what's
Yep.
required of you right now. And
Yep.
so I had to be obedient and go. And like I said, it was seamless. And when things happen seamlessly, when it comes to where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing, and how you're supposed to be doing it, it is without hiccup.
Yeah.
It just happens. And you have to understand this is happening for a reason. When you feel those roadblocks and they feel like you're fighting too much, pause, take a step back. Is this what's really supposed to be taking place right now? Am I putting too much on this avenue right here, and I'm meant to go down this one right now?
The
Doesn't
thing
mean we
too,
won't realign, but
it's gonna realign whether we like it or not. But the other part of that for me is I always feel like today, the startup of the live. I've been wanting to do this. I was supposed to start February 1st, and that didn't happen. But every time for the past Saturdays I've been doing my live, stuff not it's not going right. I'm not online at the time I said I'm supposed to be online. for me, I think because I'm doing what God told me to do, the devil is steady trying to throw punches to stop me and discourage me from doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yep.
Now, I don't understand it. I don't know why, but as you can see, what we do, I made a change. We was a little late, but we're here.
Right.
And so apparently I'm supposed to be doing lives mobile.
For now, until you
Well,
for
I'm
now.
supposed to be doing this mobily for
Yeah.
now, apparently. And I need to just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Just let it go for now.
Yep.
But I don't I don't like the fact though, and like you say, the fight is it's always that fight that comes to us that we don't invite in, but that it won't the troubles come on the simplest things,
Mhm.
and yes, that causes the stress. But when you said how easily that thing lined up, you knew that was the right thing. Now I've had stories too on productions where I remember in school one time I sent out emails and told everybody I canceled the shoot. I got nobody had been responding to me, so I canceled the short film shoot.
Mhm.
I went to bed. I was so stressed out, so depressed. I went and got in the bed. I'm sleeping. Phone ring. Ding. Oh, Patricia, I'm in the parking lot. What parking lot? The location you gave me. I said, you didn't get the email? I canceled it. What email? All right, I'm going to come out there and talk to you. I'm getting out the bed. Ding. We here. Ding. We here. Ding. I, I'm having an out of body experience at this moment. Don't nobody read emails, and I'm mad. I'm literally pissed off that these people have shown what is true. Done. Nobody, nobody got the cancellation email.
They weren't supposed to get it.
Shot that film in 4 hours. It's one of my favorite short films I've done.
For more reasons than one.
So yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So you the one thing you said, tell me about the meeting with the guy. That's what I want more details on because how that conversation start? Who is he? I mean, did you know him? You know
Oh
him?
well, we met through a mutual friend. See,
Okay.
there was a point in there where I was presented with an opportunity to become an insurance producer, life insurance producer, and I was like, okay, I'm out of work right now, in between things, still building the business. So you have to find things to bring income in.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
ended up going to the meeting, liking it, whatever, got into the business, and through a young lady that I met there, this was a friend of hers, not from Tech. They live in Texas, so it's like, so they ended up coming to Vegas for a huge event we were having with the
Hmm.
company, and I meet the friend. I'm like, oh, really cool guy. He's there with his mom, everything, and it's just the energy. It's great.
Right.
And so he said, I work here, I do this, I do that. So he was multifaceted, multi hands on businesses, is just like
Yeah.
I was. And then he said, and then I fly on the weekends. I was like, you fly on the weekends? He said, yeah, because I had that kind of flexibility. I was like, they give you that kind of flexibility where you only have to work. Like, he was like, yeah, great. Okay. And I was like, okay. And then that's when the conversation started about me tinkering with the idea years ago. And he said, you'd be great. I said, I know. I know. I'm going. There's some of us that are meant for certain things. Like I
Yes,
could never be a waitress.
I've
I
done
just,
it.
I just don't. I don't. I could be a bartender, but I could never be a
I
waitress.
can't bartend, but I can waitress.
Yeah, it's just
Because
you
I
just
don't
know
drink.
what
I
you
don't know liquor. Yeah.
and I went to school for it, So it's just like
Okay.
you you know where you can and cannot do things.
Yeah.
Like I don't want
Yes.
to be a barista because I don't do coffee like that.
Yeah.
Now
Meaning, oh, I would never,
you just know, and
never
it's
make
just
it.
like
Yeah.
there's some people that being a flight attendant, being a banker, being a something that's something that you would enjoy doing. It's
Right.
simple. It's effortless. Some people feel like it's the worst thing in the world. It's really not to me, but that's
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, we had that conversation and he stood by his word and let me know when it was taking place and
Now, how long did that first initial meet? What was the time frame in that?
a year, actually. A little less than a year.
Wow.
Yeah, a little less than a year because when we met,
Wow.
it was him saying, rumor has it we're supposed to be opening up the applications, and I'll let you know. So, like I said,
Wow.
everything was divine timing.
Yeah.
Everything is about timing. That's the way I look at life. Period. Um, and if it's meant to be, it will. You are where you're supposed to be when you're there.
Now, see,
Nothing.
the thing with that is, I'm sorry to cut you off. People love to say, if it's meant to be, it will. And I have a clause to that because it's only gonna be meant to be and it will if you're doing what God told you to do. That's the way I feel,
Yeah.
right? And like I said earlier, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to been doing, so none of those jobs were working. And folks love to say, oh, you know, what's for you is for you. Only if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
If you are in alignment.
If you, that's why we're
If
here.
you're
And
in
that's why
alignment.
we're talking about alignment.
Yeah.
You have to be doing, working already
Hmm.
in where he told you to be, what he told you to do, and all of that
Hmm.
to get to
Where you're
what
supposed
will,
to be.
yeah, what is meant
Yeah.
for you will be for you. That's,
Yeah,
yes,
and
yes,
there's always a choice road. There's always, that
yes,
red or that blue pill. There's always, do you
yes,
want to know more? Do you want to stay here and stay in the same
yes,
spot? It's up to
yeah.
you. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a matter of learning how to listen and not listen to others, but listen within. Where are you being guided?
Yes.
That's the
Mhm.
clogging up that a lot of people have with their intuition and their inner ear
And they
is
talk themselves out of that answer,
yeah.
which is what, yes,
That right there is fear. We all have
yes,
it. We all have it. It talks you out of what's normal or talks you out of things that aren't part of your normal. So if
right.
you're saying, I want a new career, oh, but I'm too, or this isn't, I don't have, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to go through a whole Rolodex of
Yes.
why it shouldn't happen, why it
Mm-hmm.
can't happen, why you
Mm-hmm.
don't need it to happen. You're going to come up with
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of things. You're going to be worried about other people's opinions, what they have to say, how they're going to feel, how this is going to affect everybody else because you're putting yourself on the back burner. You're putting yourself and what you want and what you need on the side, and you're focused on everybody else and everything else, putting it before you.
And they're taking themselves out of the spirituality of it and humanizing it. And I
Hmm.
just had to tell myself that about another matter. I felt God had given me an answer about something. Here I'm going around asking, what do you think about this? And God was like, I ain't asked you to tell, I ain't asked you to get no opinion about my answer. Like,
Exactly.
you're
You
talking to
gotta you
humans.
gotta learn how to
I'm
move
not
in.
human. God was like, I'm not human. I don't need no. No backup.
You got to learn how to move in silence because that's what's required. Your
That
silence.
part.
It's
That part.
it's it's a thing where for me, I don't like to tell people what I'm doing because I'm okay with saying I don't know what I'm doing. So if I don't know what I'm doing, and to the outside world, I'm saying I don't know what I'm doing, then here comes the judgment. Then here comes the disbelief. Here comes so
Right.
much that comes with the, like you said, humanizing it. Rather than let me work it out, and if whoever and whomever I'm supposed to share this with, they're gonna come into my path and they're gonna
Right.
understand what it is that God told us to do
Right.
because they're
And
getting
then they're
something
gonna
as
be in
well.
alignment with it. They're gonna it's gonna be in alignment. They're
Yes.
not gonna ask you any questions. They're just
Right.
gonna start working. It's
Right.
you're just gonna be working.
It's just
And
gonna
that's what
melt
I
together.
found out.
It's just
Yes,
like once again, it's just
yeah,
gonna have that natural flow. And
yeah.
if you're constantly telling people, "Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this," and you actually aren't doing it, you actually don't see it coming into it's fine to think it, it's fine to feel it. That's part of the process of manifesting. But when you're doing this, you're going to be
You know,
met with
right,
opinions and you're going to be met with challenge that you don't need. You
right.
don't need it. You need to be in a moment of creation and manifestation and allowing, and
Yeah.
outside energies are there to sabotage it on top of you sabotaging it. So they're
I was
only
gonna
going
say
to feed your insecurities because they're not
they're
secure
gonna be
yet.
creating blockages.
Yep. And they're also going to be, sending out energy of not
Yeah,
wishing you well. Everybody that you talk to does
yeah.
not want the best for you.
Nope.
Everybody is not there on your team. Some people are there by your side to watch you fail. They want an up close seat to watch you fail.
Here's the other thing to that too. Everybody can't do what you do, so your answer from God is not going to be the answer that the human has for you because they
Precisely.
don't do what you do. It took me a long time to realize people they don't do what I do.
No,
They not like us, you know. That's so
they're not.
I mean, they not like me. You're not like me, baby.
And
And
we're not like a lot of other people.
we're
And
not
that's okay.
bragging. We're not talking about it. Right. We just know we're different. We do different things. We think differently. I'm a resolution person. I'm looking for the answer. I'm trying to figure out X, Y, Z, right? You know, as much as I hated algebra, I'm always
Yeah,
calculating
I
stuff.
hated algebra and it's like we always trying to figure out the equation. But like
Oh,
mother,
okay, look, okay, this one plus one over here didn't work,
that
so
didn't
let
work.
me go over here. One divided by and carry
Seriously.
the two.
Seriously. And that's the thing about being an innovator. That's the thing about
Yes,
creating something from nothing. Nobody is supposed to understand it but you. Now, when you get to a certain point where you can articulate it, you have designed it well enough, either in your mind, in your heart space, or on paper, and you're able to explain it to another person. But when you're explaining it, you're not explaining it looking for them to agree or to feed it um any type of validation. You're
hmm
telling them because this is what's happening. This is the plan. You're standing firm in it. You're saying this is what I'm building, this is what I'm creating. I need you to do this, that, and the third. I would love
right,
for you to participate. I would love for you to be
right,
included. Anything like that. Now, oh, what you think about this? I don't care what you think about this. I don't care. Unless we're in a partnership, unless we're actually a team that's coming together
right,
to create
right,
something,
right,
we don't need to be
right.
asking each other those questions because now
You
I
know
got
what?
to bring somebody in that doesn't have the similar vision. Not the same, because we're not going to have the same vision, but we have a very similar vision to the point where it aligns
Our
and it is
thought
now making
process.
something. Yeah, that's process.
Mhm. The thought process is totally different. Now,
Mhm.
the story that popped into my head when you were talking about that is the story of Noah and the ark, right?
Always,
Just
always,
imagine. I
always.
wish. I always tell my sister that we talk about that sometimes. I wish I could have been there to see people talking about him while he was building that ark. Do you
Yeah.
know the conversations,
The
the
ridicule,
the, the
the sarcasm.
craziness?
We're talking
They would have locked. They would
every
have locked you up in the crazy house.
yeah, every bit of negativity that could be thrown at a person was thrown. The sarcasm, the ridicule, the criticism, everything, the doubt, the everything that could have been
Disbelief. They
thrown,
love to call us crazy.
they
Oh,
love
they love
to.
it.
But it's
They
like
love that word. Oh,
you thought somebody was crazy once upon a time for
right.
thinking that they could build a machine that flies in the air. So now, when you book your flight with your phone in 2.2 seconds, you
Hello.
hop your little self on an airplane because new is not normal. That's the thing
Mm-mm.
that human beings don't get. New is not normal. There are people who have sat on inventions, ideas that will never come into fruition in their
Yeah,
lifetime. Now, it might come
yeah,
through somebody else down the line, but to talk down or think down or look down upon someone who's actually using their creative mind to
right,
make
right.
something tangible, to make something real, to contribute to the world. And if you're a person that just sits at home and clicks on a little remote control, that remote control and that television once was an ideal one time too. That's
Now,
how human
listen,
beings don't process it.
when social media first started, I didn't, my sister was on Facebook and I was like, Facebook, girl, you know, blah, 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 blah. I went to sleep, had a dream. God said, stop telling people who you are and show them who you are. I woke up, I kid you not, I was not in control of my body and my mind at the time. I woke up, created a Facebook page, and I'm sitting there because it says, give yourself a name, right? Your display name, your handle. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at everybody they're with the generic names and all of this stuff. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, I sat there for the longest, right? And I said, okay, God, you told me to do this. You better give me a name. I'm sitting tired of sitting here, right? And then I wrote, he gave me Patricia Filmmaker Tone. And I typed that in and I put up a project. I can't even explain the amount of DMs I got saying, oh my God, your name, you, that is brilliant.
Mhm.
That is brilliant. And then the next day, you saw singer this, dancer this. Everybody had put what
What they
their
do.
career is, what they
Yep.
did in their name. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it.
Mhm.
And people, I couldn't even read all the messages I had. It was so many of people saying how awesome and brilliant that was.
It was. It was because, like you said, it lets people see who you are without you,
You
and
don't
you're
have to
telling them, you're
talk.
showing them at that moment, this is what
Yep,
I do. This is who I am.
yep, yep,
You
yep.
know, my tag on social media, Dawn of the Aquarius, is it goes over so many people's head.
I know, and I love it. I love it.
People
I
literally
love
think
it.
it is just because yes, my name is Dawn. Yes, I am an Aquarius. But what they don't get is I am an example of someone who is demonstrating how the times are changing. We're in the age of Aquarius.
But
we are at the dawn of the Aquarius
I
age.
was just going to say everything is still in alignment with your name.
It is. And
And you know,
everything that I demonstrate on social media is exactly what the
you
age of
couldn't have
Aquarius.
made that up if you tried.
Nope.
You know, that's what people don't understand.
That's what
Some
people
of
don't
the
understand about
things,
purpose.
yes, they
About
think we sit here half the time thinking of it ourselves, and they don't know. We're like, well, I couldn't have done that if I
it goes right
tried.
over their head because they're not
Yeah,
aware. But like you said, show them who you are. I am an example. I am a quote unquote role model of what it is that this age is going to require of you. The age of Aquarius requires you to be your true authentic self. It requires for you to express yourself as you, to be you unapologetically. It
yeah,
requires for you to not care what anybody else has to say about how you're living and what you're doing and what you're
at
not
all.
doing. It literally is me being an example of, like I put in some of my profiles, take notes, there will be a
Mhm.
test. If you're not looking at what I'm, and there's many of us that are doing it, I just point out myself because my name, my zodiac, and the alignment and the positioning that I have on social media says, hey, look, this is the blueprint. This is how we're supposed to do it, but do it in your own way. Do it the way you're supposed to. Go with what you feel. Go with what you know. Go with what you want to do. And just do it. There shouldn't be, and these are
Period.
things that I have to remind myself of at times.
Yes,
I have to,
yes.
and I'm okay with being vulnerable and authentic and saying, no, it's not easy.
Mm-mm.
Yes, you will slip. Yes, you do get to pick yourself back up and try again. Yes, you will be faced with challenges. Yes, you will be faced with naysayers and obstacles. No, everybody is not going to like you. Yes, people will love you because you are authentically you, but do you, period. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to have, whoever you want to become, that is what is required in the times going forward. Everything else is being broken down, dismantled. You're thinking your way. You're free to think. You're free to have your own mind. You're free to be who and what you want to be. And don't put restrictions on yourself because of the status quo and what other people are gonna think about it.
I I have to admit, in when I was in school, when you're doing um, short films, there are people who think you still need every job title credit as a big blockbuster film just to do a short film. And I'll never forget, I would get people to help me in those projects, and they're like, "Well, uh, who's gonna do this?" I say, "Me." "Who's doing this?" I said, "Me." "Well, who's gonna do this?" I say, "Me." "How you gonna do all that?" I say, "Cause I know how to do it. You don't need 20 people on a crew to make a 5 minute short film. The only thing that matters, and see, I'm looking at it for me and filmmaker point POV, right? I'm trying to just do the scenes and the cuts that God has put in my head. I don't care if, this or that is not perfect. I'm practicing. That's what people didn't get. I am just practicing my craft.
That's it.
So when I get a bigger budget, I don't have to stand there and second guess myself. I already know what I'm doing because I've been
You've been
practicing.
practicing. Yes.
And so I would bring these people on, and some of them would look down on me because it was low, micro low, but I didn't care. They weren't never invited back. But I would get these other people like, what? How do you do that? How do you how to do this. Oh, you just taught me something that I haven't even learned on a big blockbuster movie. I
Gifts,
said,
talents, and abilities.
one thing I know about me, when people are around me or near me, you're going to learn something.
That's it. You gonna
You're
learn
going to learn
something.
something with me. You're going to learn something.
You gonna learn
That
something.
is, I didn't do this. This is what I know God put in me.
Yep.
You gonna learn something
Yep.
when you with me,
Yep.
whether you want to or not. Whether you want to or
You
not,
gonna walk away with
it's a
something.
given. It's
You
a
gonna walk.
given. And
Yeah.
then they call me back, or when I see them again, it was like, you know what? You taught me how to do. I'm like, really?
You're
I don't
welcome.
even realize it in the moment.
All I
I
say
don't
is you're
realize it.
welcome.
That's all I say. Pay it forward. That's not pay it. Go teach
Pay it
somebody
forward.
else
Yeah,
something.
pass it. And that's really the objective behind it. I'm giving you what's been given to me, and you're
Yeah.
supposed to do the same. You're supposed to go give. Because like
Help
I tell people all
somebody
the
else.
times, our blessings are not for us. They're not for us. Our stories are not for us. Nothing is for us. It's for us to continue to grow. It's for us to
Yeah.
continue to learn from and be inspired by. It's for us to remember and also discover who we are. That's what
Right.
those things are for us. But it's for us to do the work on ourselves with ourselves to be an example to give to everybody else. It's that ripple effect. When
Yeah.
we throw,
Yeah.
whoop, we the stone, boom,
Yeah.
ripple out, and it's gonna affect you, especially if you're in close proximity with people like us. I'm gonna say with people like us. If you're in close proximity, you're gonna get something.
Yeah.
You're gonna get something, even if it's just a feeling. Something in you is going to
It's
change,
gonna
and
be
you,
more than that. No, it's
yeah,
gonna be
it
more than
really
that.
it
They
depends on
gonna
how
get
open they are. It depends on how open they
true,
are because there's some
true,
people who don't like us off sight, and
but
that's
they
okay.
gonna
But you gonna get something.
and it's gonna it might take like one guy I went to undergrad with. It took him 13 years to apologize to me, and I was the one to help him get his job out of college. 13
Happens
years.
like that. And you probably hadn't even thought about that apology. It just came out of nowhere. Because
Oh
that's
yeah, he
like,
called me. He called
yeah,
me to
out
say,
of nowhere.
I was watching. He was watching somebody else who had worked with me, who didn't give me credit, who he know that I did what I did for that person, and he was mad for me. I'm like, how you mad for me? He said, but I have to apologize because I see what I did while watching somebody else.
Yep.
I said, okay, I accept it. I said, but I've been helping you anyway for the past 13 years. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And you're welcome.
Thank you and goodbye.
Seriously.
Well, we gonna wrap this up, done, because I could talk all day.
All day.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
All day.
I thank you so very much.
Thank you for
Your
having me.
presence and your beauty is just full of life, full of love, and I'm just happy that we are now gonna be new friends. I don't care what you
You
say.
stuck with me forever. I don't care.
You stuck like Chuck, girl. You stuck like Chuck. Cause you in Vegas, you down the street, baby.
Down the street.
I'll be down there in a minute up in
Yes.
here, honey. But
Yes.
and then my uncle, he always go to Vegas. So sometimes I used to drive down there and just be now that you there,
You
hmm,
all you gotta do is call me, you know.
I'll have to wait on him once a year.
Exactly. Well, I thank you so much for having me. It means a lot when people really see me and you know the feeling, see me for who I really am, not just the outer shell, not just the details, but really see me and have an understanding of what it is I'm here to do. So I truly appreciate you. I see you as well. I hey, we this is only the beginning.
Yes,
Only the
ma'am.
beginning.
Yes, ma'am. We are lined up
Yes.
in
Yes, we
alignment,
are. Yes, we are.
and that's just how it's gonna be from now on. Okay.
Forever. Forever, ever.
Forever,
Forever,
ever.
ever.
But thank everyone who watched this live broadcast. We appreciate you. We appreciate the comments. And sorry for starting late, but such is life. Thank you all for the love. I'll see you next time on Houston to LA next Saturday. I have another guest lined up for you. Look for the post for that. And thank you again, Dawn of the Aquarius. Go follow her on social media. Yay! Thank you. Have a good one. Bye
You too.
bye.